Do I have my mic on? Yeah, I do. Welcome, everyone. I should probably send a link to people. Pam pidi bim boom pam pam pam. Do, 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 do. What the hell is it doing? I don't think the stream likes when I alt tab. Anyway, welcome everyone to the finals of the Use It Lose It Remake tournament. And today we have two players that met each other a lot of times already. We have two players that are very old in the server, very good at Total War, especially Rome 2. We have Zahar against Bobi. And those two players already fought finals on a tournament I organized. And those were the finals of the first tournament. And Bobi won these finals 3-0. Let's see if Zahar can do a lot better now. And so for this first of hopefully 5 battles, we have Roxolani against Boyi. Roxolani being a great nomad faction against the supreme barbarian. The supreme barbarian faction that is what the fuck, Bobi? I can't see it. Okay. Oh, that's convenient. I just need to I just need to start him. What? Oh, it's starting. Okay. Go, Bobi, go Zahar. We'll see who takes that. We are playing. And we are playing on Résolution, a map I really love. Now let's see if Zahar can make use of these forests to counter Roxolani. If Zahar plays correctly, that is, but he is against a very good micro player. So we'll see. And Bobi said he picked Roxolani to counter either Swebby or Boyi, like basically a barbarian faction, and it looks like he knows what he's doing. That's why he plays kite, yeah. So while they're positioning their troops, I'll do the army composition. So Bobi brought what is that? That's 2 Amazonians and 4 steppe horse archers. 5 summer Sarmathian riders, sorry. 5 step noble lances and 3 summation royal lancers and 1 step armored lancer. So, well, as you'd expect from Roxolani, that's a very heavy shock cavalry army. Bobi, to counter that, not Bobi, Zahar, to counter that, brought 2 heavy horses, spear warriors, veteran spears, noble horse, a lot of cavalry, Celtic slingers, 4 Celtic slingers, we have 4 heavy horse, 2 noble horse, 4 veteran spears, 4 spear warriors and 1 levy freeman. So Zahar, having to counter Roxolani using something that isn't Boyai's best asset, which is spear infantry, and unless Zahar wins, that's a waste of Boyai for him, which is sad, but yeah. Boyai fighters run faster than the horses. Bobi going to split up his horse archers to annoy the flanks of Zahar. Zahar marching towards Bobi. What Zahar needs to do, is engage Bobi's shock cavalry with his cavalry and then send in the spears. Like when he knows, for instance, noble lancers are coming in, he needs to go for the engagement with his cavalry, then bring in the spear warrior reinforcements and then pull out his cavalry. All of that while still having cavalry to protect the Celtic slingers that are killing the steppe horse archers. Now, Bobi has the mobility advantage, which allows him to split up his army completely and completely surround Zahar and force... Look at what Bobi's doing right now. He's forcing Zahar out of the forest. Zahar has a forest here. He could have tried to stay around that area, but now Bobi is sending in forces in the back, denying that forest to Zahar, and now Zahar is in the open. Exactly, with weak center and strong flanks, because you know the horse archers are going to go on the flanks. You'll never see horse archers attacking straight, simply because the slingers will counter them. Now we got yeah, Zahara is playing into Bobi's hands right now, allowing him to just disrupt his formation. And now he is committing with veteran spears, a precursor volley, but that precursor volley is a waste. And it allows the horse archers to get a couple of good volleys onto the veteran spears. Why Nomad versus Boya in first place? Well, Bobi brought Nomad to counter Boya because he knew Zahar would bring a barbarian heavy sword faction. And as we're about to see, the best counter to that kind of faction is probably Nomad faction. I will have Levi Freeman engaging Summation Raiders. Summations completely failed their charge in the forest, and now they're going to get wrecked, but the Summation Royal Lancers are going to charge in behind into the Noble Horse. But the thing is, that's in a forest engagement. They lost a lot of their charge capabilities here. Now these heavy horse are dead. Bobi's probably going to abandon these Summation Royal Raiders. The reinforcements, they're going to, yeah, they're retreating. The reinforcements are going to be too annoying. And now coming in the Spear Warriors that are probably going to save the heavy horse and do a lot of damage to Roxolani's cavalry. Here Veteran Spears managed to get at Step Armored Lancers. That's going to be a couple of free casualties. Cavalry counter tactics, very nice ability. And now the Slingers get some volleys off. Zahar is doing a great job right now at making Bobi waste his cavalry unit. These two heavy shock calves are engaged and they will not get out of this alive. This one either. Which means Bobi has committed like, what, half of its super heavy shock cav? And Zahar lost very few to no units. And these guys are depleted. Now the horse archers come in and try to get a couple of volleys of the noble horse general. But that's not going to work. The Step Noble Lancers get a charge, but that's on Spear Warriors. The Spear Warriors are going to go back up and slaughter the Noble Lancers in melee. But what Bobi was aiming at, is are the Celtic Slingers. And here again, the Celtic Slingers are in a very dangerous position, getting charged by cavalry. And while it seemed Bobi was wasting his units in the first time, he was trying to get the Slingers at all costs. If he manages to get all those Slingers, it's the end for Boyai. It is indeed the first battle, El Tomato, and indeed it is a very spread out engagement. That's what you expect when you're fighting nomads. And now these Celtic Slingers pretty intact. This one is broken, sorry. And this one is about to get charged. It's completely dead. And now Zahar is going to try to gather his troops. But considering he's lost pretty much all his slingers, and I think his cavalry as well is not in a very good shape. Doesn't look very good now. Yep, centering around this little forest. But just look at this, he is completely surrounded. And even though he technically has, I think, more capable units in melee than Bobi, Bobi is going to make use of his step archers to completely annihilate the melee units. The map name is Rougion, and it's a very good map. And now we see Zahar going in the defensive formation. With still 2 slingers left, these guys need to stay alive. Bobi only has 3 very heavy shock cavalry units left, however, and two melee. Maybe Freeman coming back, and 2 melee, so that could be not enough against Zahar's many units left. 3 heavy horse, 1 noble horse, 4 veteran spears and 4 spear warriors. Basically Zahar didn't lose any unit from that apart from 1 noble horse and 1 slinger, I'd say. While Bobi lost 4 or 3 very heavy shock cav and 2 light melee. And Zahar has plenty of ammo. It's gonna be hard for both players, because Bobi's not going to commit to just have a full charge. But now he's committing. He charged with his Sarmatian raiders and then pulls back just to get rid of that spear warrior. And the Boya's response is going to be too slow. And that's going to disrupt Boya's formation once more. But a synchronized attack like this, more synchronized, with an attack coming from all sides, will break Boya's formation. I'm not sure. Yep, Draco has been used.
Riders forwards! Riders advance! Riders forward! Riders advance! Butako!
He's marching towards the enemy, coming out of the forest. Now, I think Bobi's going to struggle to break that formation. However, I don't think Zahar's going to hold it. Summation Royal Lancers charge again the Spear Warriors. The Spear Warriors are going to rout. Cavalry counter tactics, so the Summation Royal Lancers need to get out of that. But doing very, very good charges with the Royal Lancers. He's not leaving the he's hesitating. He's not really knowing what to do. Of course he can't stay in the block indefinitely, and Bobi can't stay around him indefinitely. That could be a charge opportunity. But Bobi's slowly killing Boyaya. Now Zahar is leaving the forest indeed. Maybe he's going to the bigger forest, which if he is, that's a good idea. That's risky, but that's a very good idea.
Quickly now! Run quickly now! Riders, forward!
That guy's dead.
Riders, forward! Riders, forward! Riders, advance! There! Riders, advance! Lose! Advance at speed! Forward! Fire! Monaco! We wait! Forward! Riders, advance! Now! Loaded! Monaco!
Slowly breaking that veteran spear unit. And indeed, Zahar went to the bigger forest. Which is very good for him, very bad for Bobi.
Forward! Advance at speed! Forward! Quickly now! Now! Riders, advance! Quickly now! Advance at speed! Fire them! Forward! Riders, forward! Forward!
Nothing much to say, really. Zahar is in a big forest, and Bobi has less units than Zahar. And now that Zahar is in the forest, the charge bonus of the summation units are going to be way less effective. Same goes for the projectiles of the horse archers.
Advance at speed! Riders, forward! Quickly now! Fire!
Managing to scare out Roxolani's horse archers. So let's see, what's the range of these guys? 150, while these guys is 125. So if Zahar keeps like one slinger here and one here, he could be in a position to respond to these slingers, to these horse archers and these ones. Now Bobi's going for another charge. Type noble lancers. They're going to charge very weakened veteran spears. These guys are going to die from that charge. But now they're attacking precursors. 1 casualty, 3 casualties. But they're managing to break, maybe, not totally break, but to damage. Those veteran spears. I don't see the slingers being very used, really. They could be a lot more valuable and used a lot better. Levy Fury going for a brave charge. These summation raiders sacrifice themselves to get at the Celtic slingers. Draco being used. Well, it's on cooldown now. I don't see shit in that forest though. That's just not. And these summation riders are going to die too. I keep saying raiders. Now the summation royal lancer is going for another charge on the spear warriors. Looks like the Bobi's general committed but then retreated. Bobi is losing more units than Zahar. even though weakening Zahar's. Let's see if these guys still have ammo. They do. I don't think they have a lot of ammo. Probably, most likely a lot less than the slingers. But the slingers did not do anything at all so far. And they're being slowly killed. I think... Okay, I need to check. Yep, only one slinger left. Bobi managed to get another slinger. When is battle number 2? Well, it's when battle number 1 is over. One volley, you'd say. I'd say maybe 2 or 3. But you can go out of the woods at least. I don't have to.
Riders, forward! Quickly now!
Yeah, if Zahar goes out of the woods, it's pointless. It's just going in the open for no reason. He'll never catch Bobi, since Bobi has the mobility. Yes, exactly. Bobi, Zahar was here, and then he slowly moved over there, and Bobi did not intercept, which he could have and should have. But now, it's up to Bobi to do what he can. Stem Noble Lance is going for another charge on the Spear Warriors. The Spear Warriors are not going to like that either. But the Noble Horse are going to come in and potentially trap the Step Noble Lancers, or at least inflict a lot of casualties. And now the Veteran Spears come in. If these guys do not come out of this alive, it will be a huge loss for Bobi. And I doubt they come out of this. It's extremely hard to disengage cavalry when it's engaged with other cavalry units. And now they already took half, yeah, you know what I mean. And now these guys are dead. Bobi is wasting another unit on this charge. And I doubt his horse archers have the ammunition to take out these guys.
Riders, advance!
Yes, Bobi had shock cavalry here, while Zahar was moving there. He could have intercepted, disrupted Zahar's formation, and at least heavily damaged him. Now, Bobi has 1, 2 depleted. Well, not depleted, this one still has 40 men, 42. But 2 very heavy shock cav that already took a lot of casualties. And horse archers with probably no ammo left, or very few bolts, arrows. I was looking at the rules still now. Okay. And so there you have it. Bobi concedes this one. That's 1 for Zahar, 0 for Bobi. Now we should have a very different matchup. No final chemical charges, yeah. Shame no glory fall to the Goat Riders. That reminds me of what you told me the other day, Bubblefish. Well, the other day, I mean like weeks ago, when we were talking about Bobi's playstyle. Years ago. Centuries ago. And so now we have Swebby versus Rome. That reminds me of the Battle of the Teutoburg Forest. Except it's not Teutoburg and it's not an ambush. Oh, Alexandria. Yeah, Swebby versus Rome. Should be pretty even. As long as Bobi is able to use Alexandria's forests to his advantage to stop Swebby's chargers. Good idea to pick that map, by the way. It can be very useful. It can be very useful for Bobi. Bobi is using his ability to pick the map since he lost, using that ability very efficiently. It's the Alexandria map. Where we need a glorious horde of Levy Freeman to save the day, indeed. 20 Levy Freeman, invincible. When I see Bobi as Rome, I don't know. Swebby doesn't have Levy Freeman, really? Yeah, I think you're right, Swebby doesn't have Levy Freeman. Let's go for the second battle. Swebby versus Rome. In Alexandria. Yeah, they got Spear Levy. That's right. I'm quite positive we'll see a lot of Levy Freemans in the next couple of games. Army compositions time. Alright, for the Roman legions we got 4 Vigiles. Ooh boy. Veteran legionaries, Evocates, armored legionnaires. Auxiliary Syrians, Levies, auxiliary Syrians. Equites, Legatus. Very strong Roman army as always. Woodenaz. Bloodthorn. Berserkers. Swordmasters, Berserkers. Then we got Germanic Slingers, of course. Horse Runners. And Noble Riders. So very few cavalry units for... actually, they got 2 Germanic Scout Riders there. So very few cavalry units for Swebby. For once, Rome has the cavalry advantage. As long as the Woodenaz do not get into their cavalry. The Woodenaz will hurt. Now... Now, as I was saying, okay, you got one Vigile. Was that Noble Riders? So, you got one... Oh, Jesus. You got one Vigile, one Evocati, and then you got one Woodenaz, one Bloodthorn, and one Berserker. The Woodenaz and Vigiles engage each other, the Vigiles die instantly. Then the Bloodthorn get in and damage the Evocatis, while the Berserkers come in and finish everything off. Rome vs Swebby is always fun indeed. I think they are affected by force debuffs to charges. It always seemed like it. And that'd be logic, in my opinion. The Germanic Scout Riders made their way all the way over there. That sentence makes no sense, but leave me alone. And now they're going to try and snipe the Roman general, I think. Which is not really... Rome is the only faction. Rome is the only faction. That doesn't... That sniping their general doesn't really help. As basically all Roman units got disciplined. Now, because there are forests, both players are reluctant to engage. Wooden as spears. So-called light spear infantry units that massacres legionaries. Bobi's pulling out further back in the forest.
Quickly now!
What sentence made no sense? Yeah. Yeah, but that's not as useful as... Okay, leave me alone. I always felt like sniping the general, the Roman general, was a lot less useful than sniping a Swabi general, for instance. Syrian's getting in very close. So Bobi noticed that Zahar didn't have basically no cavalry.
Riders, advance!
And therefore tries to get his what the hell? Tries to get his archers out. But what is that move? Like, that's gonna inflict like what, 30 casualties to the Bloodthorn?
Understood.
Whilst okay, now he engages Germanic scouts. Okay. That flank charge on the Bloodthorn. What the hell? But now he's in engagement that he'll lose. Yeah, I think the forests affect the infantry charges, especially with the speed debuff. That is quite significant. Equity is charging straight for the Woodenaz and the Bloodthorn. Okay, so Bobi is trying to damage their units, and now he charged with armored legionaries, which will hurt. Vigila is gonna engage, the veterans come in the back, the Bloodthorn come in the back, and the Berserkers waiting to be engaged. Those are Sword Masters. Where are my Berserkers? There are my Berserkers. I missed row 1 Berserkers. Oh boy. Now these guys are going to slaughter these melee units, and the noble riders are not in a very good position, as they're probably getting shot at by archers.
For glory! Lose!
Vigila is being caught off guard. They're going to get absolutely murdered by the noble riders. Boom. Ooh, that charge has to hurt. Let's see who wins on the front line. And as I expected, Bobi is losing the main engagements, as I just explained a couple of minutes ago. Even though in some places it's still even. His legionaries are struggling to hold against the Swabi horde. But for some reason it looks like... Yeah, okay, so that engagement here just completely annihilated the Swabi flank. And now Rome has more units, even though losing on the other flank. Berserker's out of control. I feel like they should be the ones slaughtering, not being slaughtered. And it looks like the Swabian army crumbled after that charge. But this still looks pretty fair in terms of the melee engagements, I think. I don't know. But the Equites managed to get into the box of Swabby skirmishers. Now, there's one thing that we haven't, that we have, sorry, noticed in the two last battle is that Zahar doesn't make very good use of his skirmishers. Like, look at the kills on these guys. They could have way more kills than that. Now it still looks pretty fair. Bobi's units are starting to kill the berserkers. These berserkers are dead. The noble riders, although they inflicted a lot of casualties, they took a lot of casualties too. And the skirmishers of Rome are still alive.
Move out! Quick march!
Charging with pride. Ooh, what the hell am I doing? That precursor volley saved the Evocati cohort.
Hail! At the double! Fill the skies! Legio Parati!
Legio Parati.
Withdraw! Attack that position!
And now it looks like it's GG for Zahar. He has that, and his general just died to that volley, I'd say. Getting killed in melee by Syrians. And even though he did a good job at suppressing the Roman infantry, it wasn't enough.
Forward! Taxiarchos! Lose!
The question is, does Rome have cavalry left other than these legatus? Well, the Germanic slingers will still probably rout anyways, and they're about to get charged by a very tired and angry legatus. Now they're going to go through, charge this one, and then go ahead and charge this one, I'd say. Now the Romans are struggling to kill the two remaining berserkers. Never mind, they're dead.
Find your targets!
Germanic scout riders are still there. They're taking volleys from the levies, but they're trying to get at the auxiliary Syrians. The battle looks actually pretty even though Rome has a lot of infantry left. Yeah, indeed, Zahar missed the main charge, and that's what cost him the battle. And GG. So Bobi takes this battle, Pyrrhic victory. He still had 3 pretty intact Evocatis. And so that is 1 battle taken by Bobi and 1 taken by Zahar. Now we should have another very interesting matchup. That is Tylus versus Swabby. On the Mons Regius. Nice. Now that battle is going to be pretty interesting. 2 very good barbarian faction, one that if well used, can completely destroy the other. It's been almost an hour and we only just played 2 battles. Oh boy. Nothing much to say, really. If I'm quite honest, I doubt Zahar will take this one. Swebby being a very good faction, if used correctly. And I doubt Bobi can screw up that one. But we shall see. Monster Age is a very nice map, especially because of that little town, if you can call it a town, compound, I guess. That can be very good for strategy and strategic moves. A flat map with some slight hills, a bit of forests, and a compound in the center. Alright, army compositions time. So for Zahar's Stylus army, we got 1 Oathorn, 3 Oathorn, 3 Tribal Warriors, 3 Levy 3, 3 Raiding Horsemen. Okay, we got 2 Thracian Warriors. Stop moving stuff. 3 Celtic Slingers, a 4th Levy 3, 3 Raiding Horsemen. So basically 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 2. That style of army composition, I guess. Against that, we got 5 Bloodthorns, 2 Berserkers, 4 Woodenas, 2 Kimbries, 2 Germanic Slingers, and 4 Germanic Scout Riders.
As I look at this proud army, I am certain that they shall be all.
And the Stone Master General, of course. And Zahar already moving in to take the high ground, which is very good for him. wooden as well. Bobi advancing with the skirmishers.
Germania!
Knowing that Zahar's cavalry is way up there. Countering with some levy freemen. Bobi won the second battle. Bobi won, Zahar won indeed. Commodus. Exactly.
Advance at speed!
Zahar advancing with his levy freemen trying to counter the skirmishers. Now we got 4 cavalry units against 3, but that could be bad for Bobi if Tylis advances and manages to go around the Swabian cavalry. Going on full push here. But they're not gonna lie getting charged by wooden spears, that's for sure. I don't understand how levy freemen can die. I thought they couldn't. I call that fake news, a dead levy freeman. The levy shall carry the day in glorious AI tradition. Indeed. The famous levy freeman spam by AI. And now they're going to get charged by wooden S. And then again pulling out. And they're probably going to get a charge on the tribal warriors. Let's see here. Okay, the wooden eye is getting intercepted. Ooh, very well done here. That wooden eye is getting intercepted and is going to get owned by tribal warriors without a charge bonus. That's the maneuver Zahar has been trying to pull off. Kimbribo women. Yes, Tidus was swimming. 2 Bloadsworn charging tribal warrior. The tribal warriors are not going to hold for 5 seconds. Engaging the Bloadsworn on the Tidus line, and now Tidus is choosing the retreat option, which is absolutely not the best of options right now. But what can he do, I guess? For Germania. Now, Tylus lost way too many units to that first engagement. Charging in with the raiding horsemen, charging straight for the Bloadsworn. Bloadsworn are not going to like that one bit. Wooden As getting charged by tribal warriors and noble horse. Over here, the raiding horsemen charging Bloadsworn, trying to do a lot of damage to the light infantry of Swabi. Oathworn going straight for the Wooden As. The Wooden As are going to get massacred. But the Oathworns are going to take a lot of damage from that as well, especially since they're getting charged by Bloadsworn and another Wooden As right after that. Now Thracians come into combat, and Bloadsworn will be pulled in that fight again, blobbing up units here. The Kimbris are having fun firing on the Thracian warriors. And the noble horse are going to go on the side and damage, if not kill them. Raiding horsemen managed to get through and almost rout out Game Rainbow women. Oathworns here are getting slaughtered by two Bloodthorn and one Wooden Ass. I didn't know Oathworns could have killed that quickly, but they're getting massacred. Getting volleys of the Levy Freeman. Over here, the Raiding Horsemen are getting outnumbered by the Germanic scouts. Bobi patiently waited with his Germanic scouts until the Raiding Horsemen were done charging the front line. Should have pulled the Gen back when he charged with the Thracians. Exactly. The Thracians were the diversion, but the Oathworns managed to come out of this engagement in quite a good shape. But now they're getting charged by Swordmasters. Oathworns against Swordmasters, General against General. Nope, the Tiles General pulls out. Now, if the Noble Horse get that charge, that will be very significant.
Understood. Eat us.
Yeah, the General of Tylis was engaged way too... how do I say this? He was used way too aggressively, basically, and allowed Swabi to get free charge of him. And now the Celtic Slingers of Zahar once more being killed without having done anything. Now the Sword Monsters are in very dangerous positions here, even though winning. But Tylis has no units left. Zahar committed to an initial melee engagement and then pulled that costed him a lot, and then pulled back, which is the worst possible thing you can do. If you commit to an engagement and lose a lot of units, if you pull back, you'll surely lose a battle, since you've lost the opportunity to have equal forces. So he should have continued and tried instead of pulling back, I think. Yeah, Tylis wasted its cavalry charging for the front line of Swabi. Oh, because of Ariovistus. Yeah. Now that you put it that way. So that's a second victory for Bobi, 2-1. But the next matchup could turn the tide, as the next matchup is Arverni versus RDA. Zahar using Arverni, and I doubt Bobi will be able to do much against Arverni using RDA. But we shall see. This battle can be decisive if Bobi wins it. And Bobi is requesting pyramids, of course, to get Zahar disadvantage. Arverni should definitely win if they get 4 or 5 Oathworns, that's for sure. But will they? Yes, max 5 of the same unit. There's nothing much RDA can do against Arverni, really. Like nothing at all, basically. 5 Oathworns. Yeah, 5 Oathworns would be overkill, actually. in defense of the juicy heavy horse. That's true. That's true. Sorry, that's true. You need heavy horses to counter RDA. No, Bobi chose the map. No, what? Huh. I guess they agreed. I don't know. RDA has no real cav. Yeah, RDA has no real cav. No real. What does RDA have? I guess we'll see. So, RDA with its 5 Illyrian cav, going for the numbers here. 3 Illyrian, 4 Illyrian noble hoptays, 4 mercenary Celtic warriors, a 5th Illyrian noble, 3 mercenary axe warriors, mercenary peltasts. Bobi going for the peltasts against Arverni's Oathorns. Arverni got 4 levy 3, of course. That's 3 Celtic warriors, 4 Oathorns, 4 heavy horse, and 3 Celtic slingers. Unless Bobi learned from AC and bring Illyrian through arrows, he does not bring Illyrian through arrows. He should have. He definitely should have, but he didn't. Now, if he uses the Celtics to absorb the charge, then the Illyrian nobles to hold and the axe warriors to do the damage, he could do a bit to he could do some damage to, let's say, Trojan swords, but definitely not to 4 Oathorns. I can't pronounce that correctly. I've been told that since the first tournament. People harassed me to get me to pronounce that correctly. Thueros, yeah, okay. Why do I say Thueros? I don't know, whatever. But I can't pronounce Oathward, Oathward, I can't pronounce the TH and then the S. I can pronounce one of them, but I can't pronounce both at the same time. Like, it's okay, whatever. Both army marching towards the enemy. Thueros. I've been used to saying Thueros for some reason, but now I've just learned that it's Thueros and not Thueros, which really is going to disturb me. Yeah, I know we're French. That's just unpronounceable. Oh well. Very thin lines indeed. That's the standard, I'm gonna say standard multiplayer line size. Yeah, that's how you play Rome 2 basically. Now, let's quickly summarize the things here. RDA does not have the skirmisher advantage with 3 peltasts against 3 slingers. They do not have the cavalry advantage with 4 Illyrian cavs against with 5 Illyrians against 4 heavy horses. They don't have the convenient first line, I'm gonna say, with using Celtic warriors instead of level 3. They have the second line of advantage with the noble hoptays, but the axe warriors and all of this will get destroyed by the Oathorns. Peltas do somewhat okay in hand to hand, but if you're relying on skirmish to do the hand to hand combat, that means there really is a problem. Okay, Levy Freemans are getting killed by mercenary Celtic warriors. The Celtic warriors here are trying to get at the Illyrian noble hub today. The Illyrian cav is charging straight for the Levy Freeman. Now the second line needs to engage right now before the Levy Freeman dies, otherwise there's no point. Levy Freeman going to probably charge the Celtic warriors, or no, they're actually pulling back. They're pulling back probably for a heavy horse charge, yep. Heavy horse charging right through, straight for the Celtic warriors. The Illyrian cav took a shit ton of casualties from that charge on the Levy 3 and now they're retreating. Oath Warrens coming in. Heavy horse could get a charge on the Illyrian cav, but the Illyrian cav does not... Okay, brilliant. But now the Illyrian get a free charge on the flank on the Oath Warrens, but the Levy Freemen are coming in. Oath Warrens here are going to hold, of course. Measuring the Celtic warriors starting to die all over the line. Zahar is slow with the following up. Yeah, he could have and should have YOLO'd the main line, but looks like he's gonna take that anyways. Oathhorn's winning against Illyrian Noble Hub today. So Illyrian Noble Hub is starting to be depleted. The Peltasts are not doing much fighting in the back of their troops. The Levy Freemen need to get engaged, but they get intercepted by Illyrian cav. Illyrian cav that's losing anyways. This heavy horse needs to get into these engagements. Levy Freemen against mercenary axe warriors. The axe warriors are winning that, of course. The Oathhorn general is going straight through for the Peltasts. But now the Oathhorn general is in a dangerous position because the Peltasts are going to be able to do a lot of damage. The Illyrian cav could just charge and the mercenary axe charge and the Peltast fire. This Oathhorn general is in a bad position. This heavy horse is pointless here, not doing anything. This one same. But now they're going to charge for the skirmishers, looks like. Oathhorns here getting wrecked. They're losing here as well, and the axe warriors are going to come in their back. Yeah, cavalry YOLO frontal charge would have worked even better. But now it looks very bad for Verney. Even though the Oathhorn general is absolutely slaughtering axe warriors, the battle is over at this point.
Make them bleed!
The Illyrian Noble Hub today is winning now against the Oathhorns. The Oathhorns here, still fresh, killing Illyrian nobles. Yeah. That's actually that. Zahar used his cavalry poorly, and Bobi managed to get onto his slingers. It's because the Oathhorns were engaged here, and then Bobi pulled 3 or 2 cavalry units there. No, 2 actually. He pulled 2 cavalry units. Zahar had 1 heavy horse. 1 heavy horse charged 1 Illyrian. Then he rear charged the Oathhorns and then got onto the skirmishers. And before Zahar, with his heavy horse that was around here, managed to counter, the skirmishers routed. And now it's just reduced to some Oathhorns holding, but not doing much. Yeah. Well, to be fair, Bobi had a 3rd line that could do a lot of damage to the Oathhorns. But, yeah. Using axes like swords. Yes. And there we go. And there we go. One YOLO Bobi frontline. A rather sad ending to the finals, if I'm quite honest there. On a side note, the final matchup was supposed to be Carthage versus Massilia, which would have been a great